Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. We caught up today with Will Randall. He's the CEO of Freeman Gold. They are just about to put out an updated resource number. We talk about his hopes for that and what we can be expecting from him there. Also, two sets of press releases recently talking about some high-grade results over large widths, which starts to tell us that this company is starting to go somewhere. So he gives us an update on plans for this year, their phase 2 drilling. If you want our thoughts and opinions on those topics and more, plus the company and Will himself, you can find that at cruxinvestor.com/club, where you can also find detailed company reports and analysis. There's training courses on there to help you with your diligence process, commentaries from experts from around the world on a variety of companies and commodities, including gold. And we also have a thriving community of investors sharing their thoughts and ideas with each other in a nice, safe and friendly environment. Sounds nice, doesn't it? It's free from trolling and abuse and judgment. So go and join them at cruxinvestor.com/club. We'd also like your feedback too. So give us a like, we appreciate it. Leave your thoughts below, get back to everyone. And of course, you want to see precisely what we talked about with Will today, do take a look in the description below. Will, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. How things over there?
Not too bad. We're surviving. Springtime. So it's all good. Sun's out.
Nice.
So that's
perfect. Good to hear.
Hey, so we worked out before the show. We're gonna share something with the people watching this. So we're both into bees.
That is correct.
You're
amazingly different continents, but both into bees, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but you used to it big time, and now you're like me with a couple of hives in the back garden on the farm, right?
Correct. Hoping to make it through the Canadian winters, and yeah, I grew up in Argentina on a farm that had many more bees, but yeah.
There's a lot of us on here. There's a lot of investors who also like. I call it beekeeping. Right.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Beekeeping.
But it's good. So I'm gonna get some tips from you about how to grow my little brood, because that's what we need. A lot more of them. You look alarmed though. Like, don't do it. Just don't do it. No. Okay. Sorry. I decided to throw you there, but I thought I'd share that with the group.
No problem.
Look, and so how are you? How have you been since I saw you all of 2 months ago? It sounds like you've been busy looking at the press releases.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been busy, executing as we said we would. Remember, we had the 7,000 meter program, which was primarily to validate the 70,000 meters of historical data. We started off with twinning, infill, and then moved towards the edges where it was still within the known confines of the historical estimate, but kind of going off into the edges to see where it was indeed open to already line up our phase 2 drilling, which is to expand that resource. And you saw the drill results, fantastic. Some of the best drill results I've seen out of any company in the last year. And, obviously the highlight was those 2.5 grams over 151 meters, which is just massive.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, going forward, is that we have validated all that historical data and more.
Yeah.
Nothing better when you're validating to have higher grades than you expected.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that, because I do want to talk about that some length, because I think you've always done what you said you were going to do. So which is what I like. Lots of baby steps, and you keep delivering, and I like that. And I think you're coming up to that point where you're going to become, I think, interesting to a lot more people. So I do want to talk about that in some length. But kick us off with a 1-minute summary of what the company is, because lots of people here haven't heard the story before, and if they haven't, they should also look at some of the previous interviews. But just give us that reminder, and then I want to kind of get into it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a fairly new company, been around, I guess, about a year now. We acquired the Lemhi Gold Project, which is in Idaho, USA, one of the best jurisdictions in the world, top 3 in the US, top 8 worldwide. And the Lemhi Project, why did we acquire it? It has historical resource estimates between 800,000 and 1.2 million ounces at around 1 gram per ton from surface, heap leachable, oxidized, which puts it in the range of one of the highest grade oxide deposits, not only in the US, but worldwide. So very, very valuable. We then set out to tidy up the ownership structure, which meant acquiring a couple of claims that would have been in the pit area. We did that. We raised some money. We got to drilling, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, 7,000 meters. to validate the 70,000 plus meters that were drilled in the 80s and the 90s by 3 different operators, all in line to have a compliant resource estimate out in April. So we're coming right up to that. That'll be next month. The other items that we advanced over the last, 6 to 8 months was on the permitting front and on the metallurgical front, which are the other 2 key items to advance this project in the time frame that we want to do it. Just to remind you, as a group, we look to get these assets construction ready, permitted within a sort of 3-year time frame, roughly. We've done this a number of times before. So obviously the metallurgy and permitting are key aspects of that. And we're blessed with a lot of historical data on the metallurgy, which we're validating now in our current program. And we're also blessed with patented claims, which means we own the surface rights and the mineral rights. So the permitting process is a lot smoother and more condensed.
Right. Okay. A lot in there. So thanks for the summary. So I think one of the things you kind of skipped over there was obviously the fact you have done a few of these before. The team has built mines before, has flipped projects before. So you have created shareholder value, so, which I like. Let's come back to the historical component here. So the historical resource was 1.2 million ounces at, was it about 1.3 grams, right? That's what you... Was it a bit more?
Yeah, there's a range. No, that's the higher end.
Right.
One.
Okay.
And then there's other ones, 800,000 ounces at around 0.9. So there's a range, right? 3 different operators, 3 different
got it.
estimates.
So you're coming out in April, not far away. Yep. A few days away.
Starts tomorrow.
Are you going to be able to deliver that resource? And are we expecting it to see within the ranges, lower end, higher end of those ranges, somewhere in the middle?
We don't know yet. As I said, we've been working with our resource estimate group, so they're consultants out of Canada. Right from the beginning, we designed the program with them. We logged the core with them. We kept them up to speed. We now have the geological model already complete, and we've done sort of first passes of blocking to see how it reacts, and we're fine tuning, but we don't have a number yet. Okay. So I can tell you with full confidence that it's going to be in that range, in the 800,000 to 1.2 million ounces at around plus minus a gram per ton. But I don't know anything more than that at this point.
Right. Oh, it's literally all down to the last few moments of all of this work that the numbers come together.
Correct. Yes. You start blocking it out and doing your tonnages and grades. Absolutely. Okay, so that's that side of it, and let's talk about some of these drill results, because I looked at the intervals and the widths and the grades, and I was like, oh, this is starting to become quite interesting. I mean, were you surprised by what you saw? Well, there were a couple of those holes, as I mentioned, those 2.5 grams over 151 meters. That hasn't been done before on this project, so I was surprised at that for sure. That's significantly higher than we expected. But, we have a lot of historical data. This is the first core. So now we really have an idea of what it is. And if the viewers care to go to our website, you'll see in our presentation, we do have sections on there. And you'll see that there are a bunch of stacked, very high-grade zones that are sub-horizontal. And we're really getting a feel for that this has really high-grade areas that are sort of 5 to 50 meters wide, and running from 2 to 5 grams per ton. And that obviously is fantastic for the future economics of the project. Okay,
and you keep repeating this is oxide as well. So you're expecting, and it's open pitable, you're expecting to be the recoveries to be good?
Yeah, so we had a press release out, I think, too, since the last time we spoke, where we compiled all of the historical stuff, which was six or 7 reports done by Caps Cassidy out of Reno, which is one of the better groups out there. And they had a 70% to 90% recovery for heap leach, and on bottle roll over 95%. And so those are great. Those are great recoveries. We now have our own core in SGS here in Canada, working on the same type of testing, seeing in which range we come in, and initial results coming in preliminary, so don't hold me to them. Definitely indicating that we're in those range, which are excellent. Those are great results.
Right. Okay. And let's talk about this thing. It's the bit which confuses people a lot, which is the vocabulary around patented claims and how that affects permitting in Idaho. Yeah. Great jurisdiction, lots of miners surrounding you. but you've got a process to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. So patent claims means you own the surface rights, obviously the mineral rights. You own the mineral rights of the patent claims and the non, so BLM or U.S. Forestry Service, USFS. But the patent claims, you also own the surface rights. So when you go and permit, you don't have to permit through the Forestry Service or the BLM, so at the federal level. You only permit at the state level. And that process becomes a lot smoother. Just to put it in perspective, when we want to drill on our patented claims, we file a notice, and a week or 2 weeks later, we're drilling. A plan of operations through BLM or the Forestry Service can take a year to 2, maybe 3 years, depending on the conditions of the ground. So the difference is big, and that type of difference in timeframes gets translated all the way through the mine permit.
Right. Okay.
So our approach is to permit the patented ground, which has about 95% of the gold ounces within it, and then go to the small wedges that are remaining to get them incorporated. And we have a plan in place that we should have this fully permitted inside of 3 years. Inside
of 3 years. So for what? Permitted for what? To do what?
No, open pit, heap leach, or column. So
everything.
Depends, the whole thing. Okay. The whole operation.
Okay, so this isn't a case of, drilling and exploration, or, all the different things that you could be permitted for. Everything.
Everything.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, good. So, Lemhi, you're at that point now where you're coming towards the end of phase 1. You've got how much money left in the bank?
Right now, we're sitting on between 3 and 4 million, 3.5 roughly.
Right. Yeah. You've talked about phase 2 drilling to kind of move things forward. So have you got enough money?
Yeah, so it depends on how aggressive we want to be, and depends on the outcome of the resource estimate. One of the beauties of this is we've got the geological model. Remind you that this is the first core that came in, so there was a lot more interpretational work than if we had a whole lot of core from before. So we'll block it out, and this will indicate clearly which areas are open for additional drilling. The other good news is that the drill data, the 70,000 meters we acquired, are really high quality, and we have a lot of drill density as a result. So I think we'll have a healthy portion in M&I, which will reduce the amount of drilling in phase 2 that we would need to include within the known deposit to get it to M&I, right? So that's a big, huge cost savings and time savings as well. So phase 2 will combine a number of items. One is getting what isn't in M&I into that M&I status, so you can go through the PFS and FS. Expansion, which is looking like mostly to the south, the north, and to the west. To the east, the deposit does look like it's closed off because of the intrusive that's related to the mineralization, but still wide open in all other directions. Remind you also that we had a few drill holes that went deep, and we did discover additional high-grade zones at depth that had never been drilled before, so we'll follow up on those as well. And then we completed a big regional exploration target too, so you never know what will come out of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe more of that, in the coming months. Phase 2 is about what? It's delivering more ounces on the resource, right? Have you got a number in mind?
It's on our website. It's on our presentation. We're targeting something over 1.5 million ounces right from the beginning. I just remind you, a year ago we set out phase 1, get a resource estimate within the historical range between that 800,000 and 1.2 million ounces, and then phase 2. Determine exactly where it's open, and you can go on the website too. You'll see that there are a number of drill holes outside of the resource area that have fantastic gold intercepts that we'll be following up on. Tie those into the known mineralized body and get it over that 1.5 million ounces.
Right, and then what? Where's this thing go?
Yeah, and then phase 2 will lead to hopefully a phase 3 if it remains open, and if not, 1.5 to 2 million ounces, and get it production ready inside of that 3-year time frame.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And you're the guys to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've done this before. We did this. Lithium X was the previous one that we did, which we sold for 265 million, fully permitted, under construction, and we did that in a 3-year time frame as well. And again, there's a chart there on the website. We've done this combined at least 7-8 times before.
Okay, fine. Well, appreciate the update. I mean, it's good to see you. Glad to hear. I really was fascinated by those drill results. Really, really encouraging stuff. And we'll look out for this maiden resource of yours.
Absolutely. And next time we'll talk more about the bees as well.
Oh my goodness, I'll have honey to show you. Actually, there'll be harvesting happening this side of the pond soon in the next 3 weeks, I think. Okay, well, we'll speak again soon. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
All right. Thanks very much for having me.